Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Talking about
And first pitch is a hard ground ball to first, fielding it cleanly, and the flip on to first by Tate Samuelson for out number one. So that is a 3-1 put out, and Christian Fedko will now step in with one down here in the seventh. Fedko back in the first, lined into a double play. In the fourth, he
had a big stretch of 7 games where he gave up 19 runs in just 15 innings for Arizona State last year. So he had a pretty good bounce back year, and by the end of it, a 5.61 ERA.
1-0 waved at and missed by Fedko to make it 1-1. And Fedko had a couple of games in a row, including the second game of the Wareham doubleheader and the game last night against Falmouth, where he didn't have the games we were.
Nico Cavadas, who today is 1 for 3. He reached on a single and then grounded into a fielder's choice and struck out back in the second.
Cavadas able to keep that hit streak going. I believe it was at 10 games now.
It is 10 games now, and he's already extended that, so he'll look to make it 11 tomorrow.
First pitch misses up and outside for a ball, and just a reminder, tomorrow's game is going to take place at White House Field against the Chatham Anglers, but our broadcast will just be audio only, as it's going to be Fox Sports. Get it?
Top destination to be if you're wanting to go into broadcasting. We've both been fortunate enough to spend our summer out here.
It has certainly been an experience that I will never forget, as the 1-2 misses outside. And if anyone out there is listening and, are about to enter college or is in college right now and haven't really applied, if you're interested in broadcasting, I would highly recommend it. It is quite the experience and just a phenomenal 2 months with this league, as Cavadas rips that ball foul, almost catch out of play area once again. Mariners picking up 3 runs back in the top of the 4th inning and scoring another last inning in the 6th. The lone run for YD coming in the 5th on an RBI single by Wyatt Young. So it's a 2-2. Cavadas really making Corrigan throw a lot of pitches in this at-bat after getting 2 quick outs.
Had a chance to talk to one of the broadcasters for the YD Red Sox about Nico Cavadas as he followed him around in the Northwoods League last year, and he said there was basically like a 10-game stretch where he just carried the team.
Cavadas hits this ball well, but it's going to get out of play once again, so we'll do it again with a full count.
Of course, Cavadas spent last summer with the Kalamazoo Growlers out of the Northwoods League.
Stretch time from Yarmouth, The Mariners enjoy a 4-1 lead over the YD Red Sox. Apiece. Stewart, the righty, pitching a scoreless 6th inning after Jordan Butler going 5 full, giving up just the 1 run on 5 hits. And Tyler, so far so good from Mariners pitching, and it's just kind of another day at the office for both starting pitching and bullpen.
Yep, and again, this was kind of the question when it comes to the YD hitting against the Harwich.
He did not go, says the first base umpire. First base umpire having a little bit trouble trying to see as the sun right in his eyes as begins to set over by the third base side as that ball is hit a ton out towards left center field. Going back at the track, Marischak can't get there, it's off the wall. Going into second easily is Beasley, and he's got a leadoff double to begin the home half of the 7th.
Well, people talk about Harwich being a hitter's park, but how about this? The fence out here at Red Wilson Field is really high. So that one stays in the ballpark, and it'll be a leadoff double for Brad Beasley. That'll bring Gavin Dugas up.
So Dugas, who is 0 for 1, struck out in the second, was hit by a pitch, and came around to score the only run so far. Or Dugas, excuse me, and Dugas is able to move the runner over, as it was actually Brad Beasley on second, and he advances to third with one away.
So another runner just 90 feet away, but still a 3-run deficit. Not the worst idea in the world here, though, with runs coming at a premium to play a little small ball. And now it'll be up to the bottom third of the order, Andrew Eister and Riley Terrata, to try to make something happen and maybe bring a run across here for the Whitey Red Sox.
Andrew Eister out of South Carolina. Cavadas playing off the bag, so not holding the runner at third. Beasley. The infield at normal depth. The 1-1. That misses. That was actually the 0-1, so now the count at 1-1. Nick Stewart looking to try to have a scoreless outing for the first time this season. Kind of a half swing as Eister was tied up in knots, and he is retired for out number 2.
Yeah, that's what happens when you try to check your swing after going all the way around. Just kind of a, like you said, a very half-hearted attempt, and that'll be out number 2 here as Riley Terrata, who's flied out twice today, will look to avoid doing that again and avoid straining his runner on third.
That second flyout from Terrata actually set up the RBI single for Wyatt Young, is tagging up and getting to third was Gavin Dugas. First pitch from Stewart is in for a. The windup, the 0-2 from Stewart. That one just missing the inside corner.
Looked like he tried to get him to chase the same pitch that he got Eister to swing on strikes for. So back to the drawing board for Nick Stewart.
You're just joining us, the Mariners with a 4-1 lead over the YD Red Sox. In the bottom of the 7th, the 1-2 misses high for a ball. The Mariners putting up 3 runs in the 4th inning. The big blow being a 2-run single from Chris Lanzilli. Then an insurance run coming in. Second inning of work. The first pitch he throws is hit to the right side, gloved down over at first. The throw is in time, and what a play by Tate Samuelson, showing off the range over at first, and it's 1 pitch, 1 out to begin the 8th.
I did not think Samuelson was going to be able to get to that. It was really soft contact, but for a second it looked like that was almost for sure going to get through, but he's able to glove it and flip to Corrigan. 1 away here for Pat Winkle.
So for Rothenberg, a pair of strikeouts, a pair of groundouts to first. And so as Corrigan coming in for Adam Jeanette just an inning ago. Jeanette had quite the adventure, as there's a swing and a miss for strike 2, in which he'd stranded a few guys, or left a few guys in scoring position, I believe, and yet he only gave up 1 hit.
Yeah, I mean, incredibly enough, the Mariners.
2 of them as a pinch hitter, or out of the last 4 games he's appeared in, 2 of them as a pinch hitter. He's reached base in 3 of them, and the first pitch he sees is in for a strike. Lanzilli saw a lot of time in left field earlier in the season, but with the overpopulation of outfielders on the Mariners roster, he's since moved to first base, played a little DH as well.
Just been Riley King and Riley Terrata.
1-2 misses low to even things up 2-2, and yeah, a lot of guys reaching base left and right throughout this game. 4 runs, 7 hits for the Mariners. 1 run on 6 hits for
Chart for this team. In 2019, he hit .350 compared to just starting the season off at .088 for the Harwich Mariners. But he's been going on a tear here in the last couple of days, and that'll severely help his average.
Speaking of tears, here's a guy who's had his best game of the season at the plate in Hal Hughes, 2 for 3 with a single and a double. Lanzilli on at first. First pitch from Corrigan is skipped in, and back to that hit by Lanzilli. The 1-1. And that one's in there for a strike as well, as looked like a couple of guys in the Mariners dugout disagreeing with that one. And it seems like both teams in this game have been a little bit frustrated by the consistency or lack thereof of this home plate umpire. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Lanzilli the runner at first. The pitch, and waved at and missed, and Hal Hughes strikes out for the first time this afternoon, but the Mariners through top of the YD order, who has 3 of the 6 hits so far, and make it 7 as Wyatt Young with a base hit down the line. Young showing off his speed, going into second, and he's in safely. It's a hustle double out of Wyatt Young, and that puts the leadoff man in scoring position with nobody out in the bottom of the 8th.
He was running so fast, he actually lost his little shin guard there and then overslid second base. So, yeah, you mentioned good hustle there for Wyatt Young. And, well, YD may have something cooking here. Top of the order with Noah Campbell now coming up. He's already got a hit of his own back in the 3rd.
Along with that single, Campbell flew out to right, grounded out to 3rd.
Quick scoreboard update. Chatham is up on Orleans 3-0. The Orleans Firebirds have lost 5 straight. So as they say, birds are cold.
The Icebirds, which are basically penguins, I guess, if you really think about it. But
well, they are having trouble getting off the ground here.
1-1 count, and Campbell fouls that pitch off.
And the funny thing is, Colin, Harwich is only 2 games behind the Orleans Firebirds coming into this game, and Brewster's only 1 point behind them. So the Brewster Whitecaps not playing today, but Harwich and Brewster could both be within a game's. But at that point, Nick Stewart went into Megatron mode and struck out back-to-back hitters to end the inning.
Infield at the normal depth. Actually, they're shifting with Hal Hughes playing really close to the second base bag. His first pitch misses outside, as they're really expecting a pull, with Fedko also on the shallow right field grass. Lanzilli playing well behind the bag over at first.
At last check, did not have anybody up stretching even out in the bullpen. Certainly nobody throwing. So it seems like for the time being, they're going to ride Nick Stewart through this one, but we'll see how the rest of this inning shakes out.
Bullpen continues to be empty at the moment. Austin Wells awaits the 1-0 from Stewart. Here it is. Check swing, and we got an appeal and ball by Austin Wells for strike 3, and we know that Wells is prone to that. That's the 26th time he has struck out this season, compared to 13 walks, and there are 2 away in the home half of the 8th.
Yep, for Riley King, who is 0 for 3 himself today, he's grounded out 3 different times, and tell you what, Colin, he puts one over to the first baseman today, and he'll have grounded out to all 4 infielders.
King from Georgia Bulldogs. First pitch to him.
In the last innings of games, with a small lead, trying to defend it, and whoever they're up against just keeps trying to chip away at it.
This is the furthest that Nick Stewart has gone this season in a start, or in an appearance, I should say. First pitch is ripped right at Christian Fedko, so Samuelson a little bit unlucky there, and the side is retired. We head to the final frame. Welcome back, fans. We head to the final frame as, just a quick reminder that this game is brought to you in part by Cape Cod Healthcare. What's donated here stays here. All blood that is donated to Cape Cod Healthcare stays on.
Riley King hit a solo single back in the 8th.
And way out in front of that pitch is Marshak for strike one. Looking at the line for Brady Corrigan. Went 2 innings, just the 1 hit. He was able to strike out 2 without surrendering any walks. And the 1-1 is on the inside corner for strike 2 to Marshak.
Still no action up in the Harwich.
Certainly at this point looks like an important insurance run as we are in the final inning with the Mariners holding on to a 2-run lead. Winger from the stretch, and a good job by Marshak to stay alive fouling that pitch off.
Yep, a good defensive swing there, and not a lot he could do, but once he committed, he had to at least get a splinter on it, and he does just that.
So Galland, out of Boston College, having a big hand in one of the 4 runs for the Mariners in this one as he takes the first pitch for a ball. Galland had 1 home run last season with the Mariners. It was a walk-off homer, actually, against the Orleans Firebirds, and that pitch misses, so Galland ahead in the count, and he'll get a chance to face the Firebirds once again this coming Wednesday. That one taking place in Orleans. 7 o'clock.
He has kind of been jumping up and down, although right now those two teams are tied with 29 points apiece atop the East.
3-1 is hit high in the air out towards right field. Eister is over, and he makes the catch battling the sun for out number 2. So Daniel Cabrera will get a chance with 2 down in the 9th to try to give the Mariners an insurance run before heading to the bottom half. So far in this game, Daniel Cabrera has had 3 at-bats. He's reached 3 times, including a walk. A couple of singles in the 1st and the 4th. He came around to score.
The 2-game winning streak, so they will jump in here. It will be, as you mentioned, 6, 7, and 8. Brad Beasley, Gavin Dugas, and Andrew led off the 7th inning with a double. So we'll see whether he can get around on another one here.
Yep, Beasley against Stewart, picking up that leadoff double off the fence. Out in left center. First pitch from
Yeah, Stewart's off speed has looked pretty good too as well today, so hasn't used the circle change quite as much, but that's been the pitch that kind of got him in trouble the last 2 times he went out.
2-1 is fouled up high in the air, and that will get out of play. Heading over towards the football stadium here at DY Regional High School.
It seems it's DY everything except Tommy Vale, but a lot of guys have pitched here in the last couple of days. The doubleheader really did a number on that, including the closer and Joe Boyle. And you've also utilized guys like Nick Swalk and Jared Weatherby the last couple of days. So see whether he can get out of some trouble here.
Have options limited in the pen. So Stewart. And we're actually going to have a pinch hitter for Gavin Dugas. And it's going to be, as the first pitch is in for a strike, it's going to be Eric Tolman out of Arizona State. So a usual pitcher getting a chance to hit. Tolman has had 8 at-bats this season, and he's gotten 4 hits, so he's been very effective as a hitter, and he's now falls behind in the count 0-2 as that pitch catches the outside corner.
Yeah, Tolman was actually used by Arizona State as a DH on a number of occasions, and his batting ability cannot be overlooked. A guy that can really get it done from both sides for you. So as you mentioned, some pretty good numbers for him, and he'll be put in here in a timely spot.
Tolman does have a home run on the season, the 0-2. And that's up and away for ball one. Dugas was 0 for 2, or 0 for 1 actually, only one official at bat. It was a strikeout. He also reached via a hit by a pitch and scored and performed a sacrifice bunt in the 7th. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Beasley on first, the pitch, and swing and a miss, strike 3, and the pinch hitter is dispatched. A great pitch from Stewart, a fastball low and in, and he gets the first out of the 9th.
Yep, and now he can end it with 1 ground ball.
Pickler going all in this 9th inning, and there's a ground ball towards second. Fedko will try to go second for it, and he just barely gets the runner in Brad Beasley. A risky play, but the lead runner is caught out at second, and there are now 2 away.
Yeah, that was really dangerous, but he's able to make a good throw to second and end up putting away Brad Beasley. So Wald moves up on the fielder's choice, but with 2 away, actually not Riley Terada, the new pinch hitter into the game, will be the last hope here.
Jake Palmer's going to be the bat. He will face Stewart, who is 1 out away from picking up a 4-out save, which would be his first of the season. And definitely some redemption after what happened. Although getting the win in this last outing, he did give up a 3-run home run that tied the game before Christian Fedko put the Mariners up for good. Stewart's first pitch, that's outside. Palmer on the season, 308, as he's 8 for 20.
Yep, it's going to be another big-time victory for the Mariners, and a good bounce-back win here, as it could be very easy if they drop 2 in a row, especially with one of those being a walk-off, for them to kind of bury their heads in the sand. But they'll bounce back, and just like that, the Mariners find themselves just 1 point behind the Brewster Whitecaps, just 2 points behind the Orleans Firebirds. Ladies and gentlemen, we're right back in it.
Once again, final score from Red Wilson Field. Tyler, we're finally seeing the Mariners pick up some big wins against division rivals.
Yeah, and that's the second win against the East. Of course, the first coming against YD. They're going to need that going forward. As I mentioned before, they're going to have a game against Chatham and then Orleans, followed by a 6-game stretch against the West. But from that point in, it's going to be all games against the East, a steady diet of Eastern opponents. And to be exact, there will be 15 more games against the East coming up compared to just 5 against the West.
Hit him actually with 9 hits, but only producing 2 runs. No errors committed by the Red Sox as well, and they left 7 on, just like the Mariners. Win in this game goes to Jordan Butler. He improves to 1-0. Butler with an outstanding performance. 5 innings pitched, 1 run on just 5 hits. Walked 1, struck out 5. The loss goes to John Beller, who had looked really good in the last 2 appearances, and he looked pretty good in the first 3 from Red Wilson Field. Well, for all of us here at the Harwich Mariners broadcasting booth, for our producer Matt Lucy, for my broadcast partner Tyler Henry, I'm Colin Casey. Thanks for joining us on this Monday afternoon. Once again, the final score, Harwich 4 and YD 2. Mariners play the Chatham Anglers